Welcome back to Designsmith. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this poster right here in Illustrator. We'll also take it over into Photoshop and apply a couple of effects. Before we get started, please subscribe to support the channel. Okay, so this is an uppercase A with kind of like a uppercase V going on here, but it's really more of a triangle in a technical sense. And what we're doing here is a blending of these layers using opacity and also using either the intertwine tool or the pathfinder tool. You can achieve this with either method. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is select the overall JPEG that we've got here. I'm just going to lower the opacity down to 50%. And then let's go ahead and type an uppercase A. As with just about all of these posters, I'm just going to assume that this is Helvetica bold, so that's what we're going to do. And now I'm just going to make a copy of this right here. And now we'll just type a V, not a W. And now that we have both of these letters, I'm going to select both of them and create outlines. That's going to make the type no longer editable, and it's just going to make it into a shape. So now with our A selected, let's make sure that in our align panel, we have align to artboard selected. We're going to go over here and horizontal align and vertical align. And now I'm going to hold down Option or Alt and Shift and just scale this up right here. You'll notice that this is not exactly the same shape as the A that's on the poster, but we can just adjust that by pulling the bottom part down. And then I'm just gonna size this to where it comes out this way right here. And so let's swap the fill and the stroke so we can see exactly what's going on here. It's not lining up with our original A, but that's not exactly the end of the world. What we're gonna do is use our direct select tool. I'm just gonna grab that anchor point right there and bring it right up here. And we'll do the same thing with these two, just kind of bring these down and then move this over here, and then do the same thing on this side. And then we'll just do the same thing with these anchor points. Bring this down here, do this over here, and this over here, and then this right here. Okay, this next part is optional if you want to absolutely be sure that this is perfectly symmetrical. What we're going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle, and we're going to make it go right here to the center point of that A. Now we're going to select the A and the rectangle, and we're going to go over here to the Pathfinder and click on minus front. So that's going to cut out whatever area we covered up. So now I'm going to duplicate this right side over, and then right click and click on transform and reflect vertical and hit OK. And now we're going to select both shapes, select the one that's on the right because that one is perfectly aligned with our original art. I'm going to go over here to the align panel and make sure that distribute spacing is set to 0. And we're going to set horizontal distribute space. And now we have a perfectly symmetrical A. And so now we're going to select both of these pieces right here and go over here to Pathfinder and click on Unite. So this is now all one continuous shape. And now we'll bring our V over here. And now I'm going to bring this all the way up to the top. I'm going to hold down Shift and bring this down right here. And then we'll just follow the same exact method that we did with the A. All right, so we have these two shapes laid down right here, and what we need to do is make sure that they are perfectly aligned center with each other. Because if you see right down here, there's a little bitty triangle that's just hanging out right there. So let's select both of these, and I'm gonna select the A, and that's gonna set a key object. And let's go up here to Align and Horizontal Align Center, and we should be able to zoom in and not see a little triangle anywhere near there. And if we switch over to outline mode, you can see that it's not there as well. And if we zoom into our original poster, we actually don't see the point where those two lines come together. So we will leave this exactly the same right here. It's just below this line right here, this line going across. What I like to do whenever I'm about to divide anything is I like to just select everything and make a copy of it just in case I need to come back to it later. So let's go ahead and put a blue background here just so we can visualize what this is going to look like. And I'm just going to go ahead and lock that blue layer. And before we do anything else, I just realized that we forgot to put our little bridge right up here. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is going to go all the way down to where that A intersects. So now let's select that rectangle and the V, and we're going to click on Unite. So now we have our two shapes. All right, so one thing that we need to make sure of before we do anything is we need to make sure that these paths are not in the same area as each other because they need to be overlapping to make sure that our Pathfinder does its job correctly. And we'll do the same thing over here on the right side. And we'll also go up here and make sure that there's no other areas where they are not overlapping with each other. All right, so now we're going to select both of these shapes and go over here to Pathfinder and click on Divide. And it's going to divide up our paths right here, everywhere that our paths intersected with each other. So let's go up here to Object, Unlock All, And let's select our artwork and bring the opacity back up to 100%. And now we can use our direct select tool to select all the areas where the A is going to be white, and then we can color drop on that. And we're going to select this little section right here with our direct select tool and go up here to our opacity and just bring it down to about 70%. And we want this section of this V to be behind our A. And now we can zoom in on this little black triangle, just select it with our direct select tool, and then just color drop the A. All right, and now we're going to select all of this and hit copy and bring it over into Photoshop. All right, we're going to paste this as a smart object and hit OK. And I'm going to hold down Shift while I'm sizing this up just to make sure that it perfectly fits in with this document here, which is 18 by 24 inches, by the way. I'm going to go back here to Illustrator to get this blue right here. We're going to hit copy. Let's go back over to Photoshop. We're going to select the background layer and add a solid color adjustment layer. And then we're going to paste that blue right in there. And then I have this paper texture here. What we're going to do is just click and drag this up to our document right up here. I'm going to center this, and now we'll rotate it. And now I'm going to size this up and hold down Shift while I do this so that it perfectly covers up our document. And now we'll just cycle through the blending modes to find out which one is going to preserve the color while also giving us that texture. And most of the time, overlay does the best job. Although soft light is giving it a little bit more of a beige look, and I think I like that better. Vivid light is also working really well. But I think I'm going to go with soft light. And for our paper overlay, I'm going to go up here to Image, Adjustments, and Desaturate. That's going to take away all of those beige tones. And now this white area right here is a little bit too white. So what I need to do is go into Illustrator, adjust the color, and then come back into Photoshop. That way we can actually see the paper texture. So let's double click on our Vector Smart Object. And now with the Direct Select tool, I'm going to select just one part of this A. Go up here to Select, Same Fill Color. And now we're going to double click on the white. And it's still just a little bit too bright. So let's bring it down to 90%. And now we'll hit save and go back into Photoshop. And now we can see that paper texture a lot better. And now if you want to push this just a little bit further and give it more of a vintage look, what we're going to do is apply a Gaussian blur to the artwork. So let's go up here to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian blur. And I'm going to bring it up to about a 5 just so we can get rid of these lines right here. In fact, I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to show you how you can get rid of these lines in Illustrator before you even bring them into Photoshop. And full disclosure, I should have done this before. So we're going to double click into our Vector Smart Object, and now we're going to select everything, click on Divide again, and now we're going to click on one area of the white A, go up here to Select and Same Fill Color, and click on Unite. So that fixes all of those lines where everything was overlapping with each other. And we can hit save, and now we go back here into Photoshop and you can see that those lines are gone. And we still want to give it a nice vintage look, so let's go to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian blur. And now our blur doesn't have to be so strong. It can be like a 2 or a 3. And I think I'll go with 3. And that is how you create this really cool overlapping A and V in Photoshop and Illustrator. You can use these same techniques to intertwine so many different shapes and letters. It's such a cool method to use, and if you're not fully familiar with the Pathfinder, check out this video right up here. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.